Hello and welcome to today's NinjaTrader ecosystem event introducing Algo Studio Pro. My name is Thomas and I'm a platform representative here at NinjaTrader. Now, before we start the webinar, I have a few housekeeping notes. Now, this webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is a technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be directed to the NinjaTrader brokerage team using the phone number or email on the screen. And if you are new to NinjaTrader, please make sure you sign up for a free NinjaTrader account, which includes access to 14 days of complimentary real-time market data. Our platform is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. You can create your free account by following the link on the screen and then clicking the Get Started button under the Welcome section. And before I turn over the mic to Sam, it is important to understand that futures, foreign currency, and options trading contains substantial risk and is not suitable for every investor. It is possible to lose all or more than one's initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And also remember that these training solicitations are not solicitation or recommendation, but simply educational in nature. Now, thank you again for joining us today. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Sam into the NinjaTrader webinar room.
So thank you, Thomas. So we're delighted to be here. We had an unusual day, which I won't dive too deeply into, although we had a little technical issue here on the back end.
I'm sorry, Sam, but we cannot see your PowerPoint at the moment.
Are you seeing it now? Uh-oh. Here, hang on. I know it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. It's been an unbelievable day dealing with technology. Okay. So let me regroup here. So again, thanks to Thomas and the Ninja team for giving us this opportunity. So I'm going to move quickly here through just a few slides before I turn it over to my partner, who's going to take us through the demo. So this is kind of an outline of what we're going to cover today. I'm going to give you just a very brief background about my partner and I, and a little bit about the TradeDevils brand. Then we're going to go into an introduction to Algo Studio Pro, which is the product we're presenting to you today. It's our newest release. And in that, we're going to go through the main features, which are ultimately designing your own algorithms without any need for coding knowledge. And in that process, go through some real-time backtesting, creating some entry and exit templates, demonstrating the advanced ATM with its optimization that is very, very powerful and unique to this product. And that will include a Monte Carlo simulator, so we can look at the risk parameters and how robust the algo is. And then, of course, once we create it, we can run it through a strategy, so you'd have ultimately 100% automated trading if you choose to apply that. So we've got, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 different relatively simple algos that we're going to present to you today. I think you'll find that often, I think there's a misperception that with complexity comes increased profitability. And I think what you'll see today is that often the most simple of algorithms applied properly and with the right ATM might surprise you based on the kind of results you'll get relative to trying to complicate them because you're seeking increased profitability. So with that said, let me just so you understand, because if you were to jump onto Google and type in TradeDevils, it can be a little confusing here. Now, I started the TradeDevils brand at TradeDevils.com. I think early of 2018, just as I was getting interested in Bitcoin and some things were happening there. And I saw an opportunity to, start presenting some material on YouTube, and I just started creating some videos. And before I knew it, people were asking for, hey, would you review this and that? And maybe 6 months into it, I had people asking, hey, maybe you could put together a Patreon. Long story short, that's developed into a rather substantial membership-based business. And in the process of getting to know my clientele, I connected with Erwin Beckers, who's now my partner, and we started TradeDevils Indicators here, and that's a focus on day trading. We have now 80 plus different tools and indicators available for day traders. Wouldn't necessarily have to be day trading, but that seems to be the focus. And now we've added algorithmic design. under the TradeDevils indicators branch of the TradeDevils brand. So this is my partner who's saving my little tush today, because I will share with you guys very briefly. About 2 hours ago, my brand new state-of-the-art, couldn't get a better machine, decided to die. It's not even a month old, and all of a sudden I had CPU overheating issues. And that's after spending about a week prepping the content for this webinar. So that was a bit of a stress bomb dropped into my day. Fortunately, one of the values of having a partner is that Erwin was able to step in, because he's the brainchild behind this true masterpiece of a product. So he was able to quickly put something together for us. So we saved the day. And I can tell you that over my long career professionally, connecting with Erwin has been one of the more fortuitous things that's happened to me again in my professional career. So we started TradeDevils Indicators, I think, early 2020. And as I said, since then, we've now got 80 plus indicators, clientele all over the world. And we're very proud to introduce this new product, which I will often be the voice of, but truly this is Erwin's masterpiece. Now, as we're going to go through some of the content here, this will be, you're only going to see kind of a glimpse of it, but a couple of places where you can get some additional information. We have of course, a YouTube channel with this handle. So if you were to go over to YouTube and at TradeDevils Indicators, you'll see a wide variety of content, but we have a dedicated playlist to this product. And this is kind of a basic design series here. We continue to add to this. In fact, it's already got a few additional videos added to it, but just so that you know, because you won't be able to replicate or completely understand what we're going to show you just in this very limited time that we have. So that's a resource for you to go back if you wanted to, kind of check through some of the things that we're going to do. And it's very rudimentary, but it's essentially serving as an online manual. In addition to that, you can always come over to the TradeDevils website there. If you just go up to the free trial, as I've noted here, that will walk you through how to download and trial any of our 80 plus indicators, including Algo Studio Pro, for a full 7-day. So thus you'll get 5 full trading days for a full version of the product. There's no restriction, no limitation on it. So you can truly trial this and see if it's a good fit, something you'd like to add into your trading arsenal. Excuse me. Additionally, you'll on that same page, you'll find a link to our free Discord, and that's a great resource to interact with other users of this product. We have dedicated channels just to this product where we share templates, ideas. There's a lot of idea exchange about how to tweak and improve the product. I can tell you, we probably released it 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks ago. And since then, I think we're on the 19th rev of it as we continue to get good feedback, small things that we can add to improve the user experience. And that will stay pretty dynamic going forward as we continue to get good feedback from our user base on things that they would like and areas where we might tweak and improve it. So a fluid product, but I think what you're going to see today, it's very stable, very useful, and very usable as it is right now. Now, moving on, just so that you understand, as we present the product to you, there are really 2 pieces to it. There's the Algo Designer, which Erwin's going to walk you through. And then once you've built that algorithm, you've done some back testing, you've optimized the ATM for it, and you've done a forward test. If you feel like you have something that's stable enough that you would want to take to the market, well, upon creating that file, that algo that you've designed, you would load that into the Algo Trader, which you would be implemented in Ninja as a strategy. And from there, we would strongly encourage that you do some live trading with it in Sim, because an optimized result and a live result are never going to be exactly the same. But that's how you get a sense for the robustness of the algo that you've created. So we would strongly encourage a minimum of 10 days of trading in Sim before you turned it loose with live money, just so that you're comfortable with it and you understand what to expect. That would be just, whether it was our product or any product, that would be just a good idea in terms of the back testing that you would do before you turn it loose with live money. Right now, just very briefly, I'm going to just introduce you to just a few slides here. This is really not a PowerPoint friendly product, which is why I'm going to turn this over to my partner here very shortly. But just to give you a visual representation of what you're about to see, we provide 2 different views from which to design your algo. Again, it's relatively intuitive, but it does take a little, you got to work with it a little bit. And as I've done over the last, couple of months, I've gone from hunt and peck to where now I can produce an algo pretty darn quickly. And it just comes from experience working with it. I think anyone working with it would have a similar experience. Just to demonstrate to you, we can pull a plot from any indicator into this algorithm. Right now, we can do a lot more than just work with an indicator, as you'll see a few examples, but just so that you understand, it can pull a plot from any indicator on your machine, any indicator that you have, whether it's native Ninja, one of ours, one of yours, doesn't matter. As long as it has some plots with which we can pull into the algorithm designer, we can incorporate that into the algo design. So you see here, this is one of ours where we have long and short signals, zero line crosses, reversal longs, reversal shorts, zero line signals. All of those are optional plots that can be referenced in the algo design. And it's relatively simple once you work with one or two of them. Let me just carry on here. Just for an easy example, if you worked with a MACD, you could, obviously those are defaults, but you could work with a variation on MACD difference crossing the average, difference of extremes with the histogram. A lot of flexibility for you there. So with all of that said, I know you can't really appreciate that until you see it in action. So I'm going to get off the mic here. This is where I turn it over to my partner, who had about 2 hours to prep this. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Erwin, and let you take it. I'm going to hit stop share, and that should create the opportunity for you to share your screen.
Thank you, Sam. So let me find my screen. If all goes well, you should now be able to see my screen.
Yep, got it.
Okay, so here I have the Algo Studio loaded, like Sam said, and it's important to note that the Algo Studio Designer is used to build, backtest, optimize, and forward test your algo. So it has everything to do with creating an algo. And then when you have your algo ready, you take it to the Algo Trader, and there you can start trading it live. And the two products together are our bundle, which we call Algo Studio Pro. So let's go into the designer real quick. Sam already mentioned the steps you have to take to build your algo, and we made those steps pretty logical here in the tab window. So we have the designer, and the designer comes in two forms. Some people like to design their algos in a more graphical way. Well, that's possible. As you can see, you can just drag and drop and create your algo, and some like to create it in a more logical sense. And personally, I prefer the logic designer for smaller algos. But if things get more complex, then maybe with multiple ANDs and multiple OR nodes, then the designer is maybe a better option. But you can use both. And you don't have to make a decision which one to use, because any change you make in the one is automatically updated in the other. So you can just switch between those and use whatever you want at any time. So if we look at the logic designer, you can see here all the conditions we have for this algo. And in this case, it's an AND. So if all these conditions are true, then it will produce a signal to go either long or short. And every condition has a couple of settings you can choose. And if I click around, you can see, well, these settings are changing. And I will go more into details about how this works later on. But for now, I want to go over the basic steps. So here is where you design your algo, or here. And then when you have your algo and signals are correct, you can go to the next step. And the next step would be your ATM. We already know the ATM from NinjaTrader, where you can put in your targets, your stop loss, your trailing stop. It's more or less the same here. You can add multiple positions. You can scale in. There's a lot of flexibility here to select the ATM you would like. You can select trading hours when the algo is allowed to trade. But yeah, with so much flexibility and so much settings, it might be very difficult to find the most optimal one, because yeah, what you can start with your target and then maybe at a break even and a trading stop, but then there's already so much combinations you can choose from that it will be impossible to find the most optimal one. So that's why we have the optimizer. And the optimizer allows you to optimize basically the ATM settings. It will automatically find the best ATM settings for your algo, and optionally also the best trading hours for your algo. So that's also something I will look in a little bit later. But note that this is where this happens. Finally, if you have your ATM set and ready to go, and the backtest is looking great, like you can see here. You can see great equity curve. You can also see all the statistics of your algo. Then the next thing you want to know is, well, how robust is your algo? Because having a great equity curve is nice, and having great statistics is nice, but we all know that backtest can be misleading, right? It's no guarantee that it will perform like this in real life. And that's a fact we all have to live with. We can only backtest and simulate as good as we can. But one of the steps we did to test how robust your algo is to add the Monte Carlo simulator. So that will be the next step in your process. And the Monte Carlo simulator basically takes your trades and allows you to change things. For example, you could say, well, let's say I add 1 tick of slippage to all my trades, or to 50% of my trades. How would my equity curve then look like? You can see the white one here is the original equity curve, and all the other ones, all the colors here, are all simulations of those of other equity curves which could occur if you add slippage to your algo, just random slippage. And you can see this algo is holding up. Doesn't matter if I add 1 tick. I could also say, well, maybe let's skip 10% of all the winners. So it's going to look at what are the biggest winners, and let's remove 10% of them and see how the algo performs. Well, it's still holding up. You can see it's already having less trades. But that way you know that, okay, the result I see in my equity curve is not because of 1 or 2 big winners. It's a nice accumulation of small profits or larger profits, but it doesn't depend on a few big winners. So you can already see that this allows you to see how robust your algo is when just changing things. You can skip maybe X% of your trades and look at the results, and yeah. Well, as you can see, yeah, this algo is holding up pretty nice, but you will also, if you start developing your own algos, you will see that many algos will not be as robust, and will start to perform badly. And well, that's of course not nice to see, but it's also good to see, because you don't want to discover that when you're trading with your live money. So that's why the Monte Carlo simulator is very helpful. And finally, we have the reports, which shows you the P&L over the day. Well, this algo only trades during the regular trading hours. And you can see that during those hours, it has, well, 2 losing periods, 2 losing time periods. So that might be something for you to consider. Well, should I maybe turn off my algo at 10 o'clock and not 1430, or should I leave it running? The same for the day of the week. You can see it's performing pretty good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday is not a really good day, but still profitable. And even the day of the month, you can see the results. Now, of course, your data set has to be large enough. If you're only backtesting, let's say 4 days, then yeah, the P&L day of the week won't give you much information. So always make sure you have more than enough data to backtest, so that the results also become more more accurate. So that would then be the last steps. And if everything will be okay, then you can start trading it and we recommend first in sim, just to see if your algo indeed produces the same results when live trading it, as it shows in the backtest results. Of course, you can also use the strategy analyzer to backtest longer periods if you want, or all the markets or whatever. You can see a backtest I'm doing here. You can see that the equity curve is more or less the same. So that's pretty good. So that was just very, very quick run up about the process and how you go from left to right. And now let's just start with a very simple example algo, so you get a feeling on how to create your own. So I'm going to open the algo designer. I'm going to press new, and basically we're starting here with an empty canvas. And for this algo, I was thinking, you can see I added the Bollinger Bands to my chart and the stochastic indicator, just two of NinjaTrader's built-in indicators. And I want to go long when price, for example, goes above the Bollinger Band or below the Bollinger Band, and when the RSI is either overbought or oversold. Just a very simple example. So how would you build something like this? Well, you would, in this case, add a condition. And the first condition would be to look if price is above the Bollinger Bands. So the first condition, you would say, okay, if price, the bar close should be greater than, and then over here, I would like to have the Bollinger Bands. So I am going to select new, and that allows me to select an indicator. So I'm showing Bollinger, and I'll just use the default settings, and I want to compare it with the upper band. And for the shorts down below, we're going to do the same, but we want to look at the lower band, of course. And already you see things changing in the background, and that's one of the benefits of this product. You see real-time updates. At the moment I make changes here, you can see the signals appearing. So here you can see this bar, and this bar is closing above the Bollinger Band, so that becomes a long signal. You can see it's taking a long trade. And if I scroll back a little bit, you can see the same for the shorts, where it's taking short trades when now it's below the Bollinger Band. So yeah, that's already makes it very easy to design your algos, because you get instant feedback on what you're doing. And not only the signals appear, but also the statistics, and your backtest equity curve also updates immediately. So with every change you make, you can see does it make it better or does it make it worse? So let's add one more condition. And let's say that in this case, I want the stochastics indicator, which is down below. For the long, I want it to be, and then the K plot, I want it to be greater than a fixed value of 80. And for the shorts, I want it to be less than 20. 20, like that, yep. So now you can see here it is above 80, and it's the bar closes above the Bollinger Band, so that would be a valid long signal in here, indeed. And here the stochastic is below 20, and the price closes below the Bollinger Band, so that's a valid short signal. So you already can see how easy it is to create your own algos. You can simply turn on and off signals to see how they work, or how they what signals they give, which allows it to easily test. So yeah, that's how you start designing your algos. Of course, there are a lot of options to choose from here. We quickly now looked at indicators, but you can use volume, time, you can use swing low highs, retracements, There's a lot to choose from. Candlestick patterns are also built in. So there's a lot of options for you to create your own conditions, and of course you can combine them with AND and ORs. But for now, I think that's maybe a little bit too much. So let's say now we have this algo and it's not performing well. So the next step now would be to start optimizing it. So we switch to the ATM tab. And like I said, you can change anything here manually if you have specific ideas about your target or your stop loss, or you could just leave it to the optimizer. And the optimizer is probably one of the key features of this product, because it allows you to optimize your algo based on, for example, net profit, win rate, profit factor, Sharpe ratio, a lot more. And you can give it clues or instructions about optimizing it. For example, if you open the advanced settings, you can give it instructions about the minimum and maximum number of ticks for the target or for the break even. So there's a lot of options here you can tweak. We'll just leave it at default for now. And let's see what it does if we start optimizing. So I'm going to press the start button. And right away, you can see that the equity curve, it finds it's already looking better. And you can see it's optimizing the net profit. You can see the win rate, profit factor. Now, in this case, if I look at this equity curve, it might be a little bit too good to be true. So it's probably a little bit over optimized. So that's something we would not like. So let's say you make a little change here and set it to RTH only, so only the regular trading hours, and try again. Now we get a better equity curve. And like you see, when it's optimizing, you can see the equity curve. When it's optimizing, the statistics will be updated. And when you stop it or it's done optimizing, you can see the results over here, the best results. You can just click one and go over it. And you will also notice this green and this purple line. The green line is the data it used for optimizing. And the purple line is the walk forward test. So the purple line is basically the price data it never saw, and it was trading as it was live. So this is for new data. And if the equity curve like here just continues, then that's a sign that your algo is not really over optimized. But if it starts performing bad, then you know, okay, it might be over optimized, because the optimized results look good, but then as soon as it sees new data for which it wasn't optimized, things go south again. So you want to see that purple part also to continue, just like the green part. And you can, of course, change how much data it should use for the in sample and out of sample parts. By default, it's using 80% for the in sample and 20% for the walk forward test. So here now we have a result. So we can close the optimizer now. We also see the ATM settings it found. And again, you can then start with the Monte Carlo just to see how it performs. You can look at the reports when it's trading, what are the best and the worst hours it is trading. And that's basically the steps you need to take to create your own algo. Let's see, and just to give you an example, here is the original algo in the beginning. And after optimizing it, we get an equity curve like this. So it's doing pretty well. And of course, if you then test it in the strategy analyzer, you get more or less the same results. And this algo, by the way, if you are interested, in our Discord, we have a channel where we have shared this algo, so you can start playing with it as well. And yeah, that's, I guess, the basics of the Algo Studio. Like I said, like Sam said, there's a lot in here, so I just touched the basics, showing you how easy it is to create your own algo, to optimize it, to backtest it, which basically happens in real time whenever you change something, and how to use the Monte Carlo analyzer to see the robustness of your algo. I'm sure you guys have more than enough questions. We will try to answer them.
Yeah, there's a few in the chat now.
Yeah, we will try to answer them, but also feel free to join our free Discord. We have specific channels for the ASP, and we are always there to help you. Shall we go to the
Sure.
questions, Sam?
Yeah, first question is, which doesn't surprise us, what makes this different from Bloodhound?
Well, as far as I know, Bloodhound is allowing you to create your designer, right? Or your algo. But it's only providing those green and red stripes. It's not giving you instant feedback over the backtesting result or the backtest statistics. It does not has an internal optimizer to optimize your ATM settings in your trading hours. I don't think it has a Monte Carlo analyzer in reports. So it has a very good designer. But yeah, we took it a step further and made sure that the entire progress from design to backtest to optimize to forward test is in this product.
Next question, is this applicable to level 2 data?
Well, you don't need level 2 data for this. You like we said, you can use indicators. You can also use order flow indicators. But for order flow indicators, for most of them, you don't need level 2. So level 1 is more than enough.
Yeah, we have quite a few people taking hooks from footprint charts and some of our footprint products, order flow products, using this. And there's a few key features here. And we have such limited time. This is really the YouTube channel and the Discord are where you're going to get more questions answered and really see the full potential here. But one other thing is you can, it's often how I will use it. I'll optimize an algo, I'll have it running, but you don't need to have the indicators or whatever tools you're using to design the algo, have it running. You don't need to have those on the chart. As long as they're within Ninja, they will be running. So you might have, perhaps you're working with, I don't know, whatever your default template is, might be a price action based or market structure or Renko chart, whatever it is. You could, in conjunction with that, you could have the algo firing signals in addition to that. So it might be additional confluence, and we see a lot of people using it that way. The other thing here, which I think probably a good idea to touch on, because this was kind of a light bulb moment for me when I first started working with it, is the importance of creating the exit template, the exit conditions in addition to the entry conditions. Because it's if you just optimize with entry conditions, you can end up with trades that are running 2-3 days, and that's really not what we're after. And that was something that Erwin taught me early on as he was designing this. I guess it's fairly common with quants that it's a short term scalping, maybe, yes, but looking for maybe 5 to 9 bars as a target. And that does some real benefit for you because it kind of throttles any potential runaway loser. Now, it also does the same for runaway winners, but it can keep that algo more consistent if you start working with an exit template. And I thought maybe while we had a little time, you could just pop that on there, Erwin, and show them maybe a 5 or a 9 bar exit template.
Yeah, it's a good point because I've shown the entry conditions, but you can choose exit conditions, and then basically it's the same thing, but now you're basically designing when your algo should exit the trade. By default, it will use the ATM settings you have set up, but you can also say, well, I want to use indicators. You can say I want to exit it when the trade is open for an X number of bars. So yeah, you're very flexible in designing when you want your trades to stop. I see a couple of more questions coming in. Does this work with third-party indicators? Yes, of course it does.
Any indicator, yeah.
Yeah. Is the NinjaTrader C# code available for making changes? No, that's not how it works. How it works is that we designed this for people who have zero core coding knowledge. So you create your algo, you save it as an algo file to disk. You can see I have a couple of here. And then you can load them, or you can open the strategy, which I have here, and just load your algo in there and start your strategy and start trading. So there is no C# code involved.
One question we have here, which I know the answer to, is can we incorporate cumulative delta? And of course, yes.
Yes, you can use cumulative delta, order flow, footprints. You can use it. Yeah.
Can I program the auto fibs indicator? You sure can, and that is just a little sore spot. Again, I prepped for this for a week. I had probably 7 or 8 algos ready to show you guys, but again, my machine decided to crash at noon today. So Erwin, who had maybe 90 minutes to get this together, he may. I don't know if you could pull that up quickly enough, but I had 6 or 7 examples of very profitable, from a 233 tick all the way up to a 5-minute, using the measured move algo, or with contemporary measured move, as we would call it, or the auto fib or measured move, right? Kind of within the same lexicon of technical approaches. But so to answer your question, yes, it's relatively simple to do. Right? It's just the swing strength, and then between a 50 and a 65, enter there. Maybe too much to have Erwin do that on the fly, but to answer your question, yes. And I have several videos where I'm demonstrating that, and you can find those within our Discord. Again, we share these templates freely within the Discord. Now, we make a distinction between those that are trialing, that, where we're going to give you some basic ones, and those that have made the investment, where we have a VIP channel where you're going to see some more examples of algos that we're running, and some of the things that you might find from us who have been using it for longer. So again, the Discord's completely free, right? But not a bad idea to go in there if this interests you.
Yeah, I see George mentioning it seems complicated. Yeah, I can imagine you feel that way, because there is a lot in here. Once you start working with it, it will click and make sense. But that's why we, or Sam, I should say, make these tutorial videos where we go step by step in how to create and backtest and optimize the algos.
I had no background with algos either, and now I can do them. And it's just like anything, you do it enough, and you're like, oh, I get it. Oh, I can do that. Oh, cool. Right. It's just, you have to work with it. That's the point of a trial, right? We give you 7 days to fuss with it, go through the YouTube channel. The best thing to do is import some templates that you'll find on our Discord, and say, oh, I see how they did it. Oh, okay.
Just for your information, we had people who are trialing or buying this product, going from 0 to profitable algo, live trading it in prop firms within a week. So the pullback, the algo I have on my screen is the pullback algo, by the way. And how does it compare to Blackbird? I just answered that. I mean, Blackbird and Bloodhound are 2 separate products, and this is a complete integrated product where you go from A to Z without having to use strategy analyzers or stuff like that. It's real time optimized. Monte Carlo. Bloodhound and Blackbird have their place, and they provide some of the options we have, but we think that this is a more complete product.
Yeah, sure.
Can you create a standalone runtime strategy? No. Like I said, you use the Algo Trader to run the algo live. So the strategy comes with the product. So if you buy the product, you get the designer, and you get 2 licenses for the strategy. So you can live trade it on 2 PCs, 2 different PCs. How many sets of algo templates are there? Well, we just provide, I want to make that very clear, we just provide examples on how to build algos. And of course, we try to make them as best as we can, but we do not sell algos.
That's good point.
We sell this product, which allows you to create your own algos. But we do not sell algos, but we do provide example templates. And I'm not sure how many there are in the Discord. I think probably 4 or 5 in the free one, and in the VIP channel, probably more than a dozen or so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun of it, right? It's a little bit of a treasure hunt. You're trying to come up with something that might be uniquely yours, or maybe a unique combination, and then you're optimizing. It's you're optimizing, but going to likely be different than the next guy's.
Yep.
So that's kind of the fun, and where I would encourage the trialing is where you're going to go from, oh, this looks complicated, to, oh, I get this. I can see how this could be really useful, but you've got to invest a little time in understanding how it works, and that's the idea behind both the YouTube channel as well as getting started with some basic templates, so you see how they're put together. It's really spend a couple hours with it. It's not nearly as complicated as it might look. It's just very powerful. That's what you don't appreciate, is what's happening on the back end of it. We're probably running a little short on time, Erwin. Here we're about out of time, so let me get back to the screen here, so I can show them the promo, because of course we have a webinar special to offer you. Can you optimize a portfolio of algos? No, you couldn't do a portfolio array of algos, but you could run, certainly. You could be running multiple algos at once, right? You just, not in the same account, in the same market. But if you wanted one on the 6E, one on the MNQ, one on the ES, one on crew, whatever they may be, those can all be running at the same time. The other thought is, you might want to start with micros just as you get your feet wet with it before you go, dive into live money. Just a suggestion. So as you build confidence with it, and you want to back test, 30 days kind of a minimum, 100 trades really a minimum. 30 days for a back test. Okay, how robust are we over different market conditions? If you go out to 90 days, you got to give it a little time to optimize that. That could take, 15 minutes to half an hour, depending on the complexity of the algorithm. So all of that is just a function of how you go about working with it, using it, understanding its power, and then how to apply it for your maximum benefit. Okay, before we run out of time, Erwin, I think you have to end your share so I can come back to mine. Yeah, so
you can just share your screen.
So do you guys see this now?
Not yet.
No, hang on. I got to share a screen. Oh, God, again, the hazards of doing this on the fly. Okay, can we see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our code. This is a 25% off the purchase price. Of course, you can just go to our website. That's where you're going to get the trial, access to the Discord, all the things I showed you earlier. It's not hard to find. It's a 25% off of the single purchase. Now, with that, you get one designer and then 2 strategies. So to the people asking about multiple traders, you've got that capability here. You really don't need more than one designer. Now, unless if you travel and you're taking a laptop with you, different scenario. But as is, when you make the investment, 1 designer, 2 strategies. And this is the code we're going to offer for that 25% discount. That'll be good for the next 7 days. Ninja Web 25 will get you 25%. Just enter that in the checkout process. Get you 25% off. But of course, would not be uncommon for people to want to start with a trial, come into the Discord, ask other users, and we have quite a few. You got to kind of swim around in it before you get a feel as to whether or not it's an investment that's a good fit for your needs. So with all of that, unless you have anything else, Erwin, we're probably right at the timeline. We've got to wrap it up.
Yep. Sounds good, sir.
Okay. Thomas, you there? Oh, there we go. That's Thomas.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam and Erwin, for taking the time to share with us today. If you enjoyed today's session, we hope you will join us in future webinars. Follow us on social media for alerts about upcoming events and other NinjaTrader ecosystem news. We would like to remind you that the information provided was that of TradeDevils and not of NinjaTrader. All information was for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Enjoy the rest of your day. We hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from all of us here at the NinjaTrader ecosystem.